Hey there guys, it's me Malorian, and it's time for another Malorian Weekly, and this one's going to be all about the big topic of the day, which is really the coronavirus, which is going all over the place, and how this is going to be affecting your hobby, and how you can continue your hobby during this outbreak, during this pandemic, to be a little bit more accurate. Now, I know there's probably still people out there that says it's no big deal and blah, 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 but let's face it, things are very clearly very serious as things are ramping up. Any exposure you have to others is just really spreading this really quickly. All of a sudden, there's too many people going to hospitals, not enough equipment to deal with it, and then that's where the fatality rates really rise when the hospitals can't really be giving the treatment they need to the people. So because of this, you're probably not going to be able to go out and game for a while. I mean, really going out to the hobby store is going to be less of a risk than, say, going to a movie theater or going to, Costco and rubbing, shoulders with a whole bunch of hundreds of people type thing, right? A hobby store of a dozen people, not really high risk. However, it is still risk, and the more that we can reduce that, the better. So what I'm going to be talking about today is how to really be dealing with this hobby during this time. And I think where I might want to start is I'm going to be starting with the idea of, well, what happens if you are going to be going to the store and trying to get games in? Again, I'm going to preface this where, for me, I'm not going to be gaming for the next 2-3 months, whatever it is, until things calm down, until basically, we have our peak number of cases, it's starting to decrease like it is now currently in China. Like, that's the time I'll want to go back out because we're at the end part of the curve. So that's unfortunate. However, I realize that some of you will still want to get some games. So the first thing I'd say is that if you want to go out there and be gaming, I would say do not go if you are feeling any of the symptoms whatsoever. And not even just the symptoms of the coronavirus. If you're feeling sick at all, just do not go. Just stay home. You might be bored and you want to play. Well, too bad. Stay home, do the right thing, and just don't be infecting others. The next thing is that if you go there and you notice that somebody else is sick, well, what you should be doing is either suggesting to them, like, hey, look, bud, like, you're sick, you should probably be going home, or it's okay to be like, you know what, I don't want to play you. So you're here, whatever, I'm here, I'm going to be playing this person because they don't look sick. So bye, I'm over here. And then the other thing is that it's totally fine too as well just to go home. If you get there and there's somebody there hacking and coughing all over the place, turn tail and just go right back home, right? Because obviously where I said things were low risk, well, if one of them's showing symptoms, that risk is going up. Now, the next thing is if you're in there and you're playing and you're going to be having that good old time, do not eat or drink. If you're normally a person who likes having your pop and maybe a snack, maybe bring McDonald's with you, whatever it is, that's not the right thing to do, right? Because the way this is infecting people is getting inside their body. That's why they're saying don't touch your face and stuff like that. So if you're playing and then grabbing a drink and drinking and then playing and grabbing your burger, taking a bite, you're literally doing that intake right there. So do not do that. Go and eat before or after. During the game, don't shake hands with your opponent, don't touch their models, don't touch their dice, basically any of that contact. Now, of course, we can't push this to extremes because we're accepting the risk. So, if they are sick and they touch their models, they move it here, it gets on the mat, your model goes there later, there is still a potential there, but if we're making sure that primary contact isn't happening, hand to hand, or touching their models or their dice, that's going to be helping a lot. And then otherwise, when you're done and you get back home, or even on your way out, wash your hands so that if you're going to be eating after, if we took all these precautions and it's still on your hands, well, wash your hands to make sure that when you eat, it's not going in. Otherwise, let's assume you're somebody like me and saying, like, you know what? It's not worth the risk. I want to just stay home. I'm going to self-isolate. Boy, this is going to suck. Not going to be able to do the hobby that I love for the next 2-3 months. Who knows how long this is going to be going on for? Well, I think that's a good time to realize that our hobby as a tabletop miniature game is a lot broader than just playing on the table. So if you're one of those lucky people where maybe you got kids or roommates that also play, fantastic, you can do that. You can also try playing against yourself. It sounds lame, but sometimes when you're desperate, that's what you got to do. But you will more than likely need to have to try and fall to something else. Maybe you got some models that you need to build. We're like, you know what? I have never really got around to building this third unit of press gangers. Let's get that done. Or maybe I'm going to get around to painting it. I mean, like, you know what? I got a lot of models here I need to try and paint. I'm going to try and whittle those down. Or maybe it's making terrain. You're like, you know what? I need some more terrains. Let's grab some recycling, some kits if you have them. Whatever it is, I'm going to make some more terrain. Maybe I'm going to be making things otherwise, like, I'm going to make zones, I'm going to make flags, I'm going to make objectives, just something around the hobby to keep you invested and in it. Another thing I'd be saying to do as well is keep yourself connected. Whether it's chatting on Facebook with your friends still and seeing what they're doing, whether it's going out there, and what we're going to try doing here is rather than gaming every Thursday, we're just going to have a Discord chat where if anybody's doing any of those things I said, or maybe they just want to drink and have a couple of beers while they talk about what lists are you thinking about now, what are you going to do when you get out of the clank type thing, that's great. Have that connection, keep up that community, and then so that way in 2-3 months when you start going again, it's not weird. It's just like, hey, I talked to you last week, you were talking about this list, let's try it out type thing. Or, oh, I saw you were painting that, let's see it. Oh wow, that looks amazing up front. So that connection's really important too. Another one too is that, of course, you'll be out there and trying to find whatever material you have. So the fact that right now the Hermit Twitter scrolls are going crazy and they're doing lots of updates, that's amazing. That's great. Keeping people interested, keeping people invested. Look for podcasts, look for YouTube. I know personally, I'm a part of that solution if I wish to be. So I need to be out there as a content creator, making videos, making podcasts, trying to just have things out there because people are going to be craving it. And the thing is that if I don't give some of that so they can, get it into their veins, they're going to want to try something else. And I'm not just saying something like, oh, well, we're going to lose them to be playing video games, which might be the case, right? If people are stuck at home, they might start becoming PC gamers. And if they enjoy it, sure, why not? But what I really mean is that maybe they get so desperate for something, they're like, screw it. I just got to go to the store. I'm just going to go. And you know what? I just need something. I'm going to phone up my buddy. I'm going to go over to their place. We're going to have a game because I just need something to kind of escape from this. And that's going to become more and more of an issue, right? The further we get into this, the more, the stir crazy people are going to get, and then that's where they're going to get more desperate. And those are the people, that's why these things still spread, is that people cheat. They go and see people that they think will be fine. It turns out it's not fine, and that's how these things happen. So I know that the more that I can produce, the less that can happen. And then realize that in yourself. Realize that my goal is to not get sick and to spread this around to my friends and my family. So I need to do whatever I can to not get sick. And again, I'm not trying to make this video preachy about, hygiene and what you need to be doing. Hopefully this is clear enough and it's out there, but I really want to really focus this around the hobby. Now, another thing you might want to do is know that this is not like, oh, I'm not gaming for a week or two. I need to paint this unit. We are talking about you might not be able to go out there and game for 2 months, 3 months. And so with that, you have to have a long-term plan. Whenever I went and I was going to be painting an army for a tournament, I wouldn't just randomly paint whatever I'd think, as I'd make up a list and be like, okay, these are the models I have that I want to paint over this amount of time. Let's make a schedule. On this week, I'm going to be doing this week this, and this week that, and then breaking it down even more. On this day, I'm going to do this. On this day, I'm going to do that. I think it's really good right now to be setting up those goals. And again, I said painting, but it could be building terrain, building models, whatever it is, and just really try and have that long-term goal. In front of me, I have all my Legion of Lost Souls that I picked up just before the lockdown, basically. So now I'm all keen to use them, and I won't be able to for a long time. But what can I do? I can paint them. And if I wanted to, I could just be like, well, let's go and get them painted right away. I'm going to force this, and within a week, I'm going to paint the whole 30 of them, and I'm going to be good to go. Well, the thing is that if I do that, one, they're probably going to be low quality, and two, I'm probably going to burn myself out. And if during the first week I burn myself out and don't want to paint another single thing, well, now when I get to month 2, I'm going to be really, really bored. So I'm making self rules for myself. I'm going to paint 2 infantry models per day, and then on the weekends, I'm going to paint something fun. You know, instead of painting 2 of my Legion of Lost Souls, I might do Throne or something like that, right? So something like that, so you can pace yourself and know that, I mean, even with that pacing, that means all this infantry is going to be done in 3 weeks. That means in less than a month. Luckily for me, I have a lot of other stuff that I could be painting too, but you get what I'm saying. Don't push yourself too hard on whatever you're going to be doing and then finding that you're going to be getting yourself burned out. Now, the last thing I want to be saying too is you might decide to do that thing that is nothing to do with War Machine whatsoever. I talked about maybe you're going to become a PC gamer or whatever that's going to be. And you know what? I think at the end of the day, it's fine. I mean, not only because it is fine and whatever you get enjoyment with, that's great, but also the thing that when it comes to War Machine or any very in-depth competitive game that takes a lot of focus and a lot of investment, you need those times where you can step away. And so usually that'd be something where if you're a person who was like, go, 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 maybe worked all the way up to the WTC, maybe worked all the way up to this big tournament, after that, you probably need to step back and just cool off because, again, just like how you can be burned out from painting, you can be burned out from playing. So usually it works better when you get to plan it for yourself and decide when you're going to do it. This is going to be kind of forced on everyone. But even just that, even just the idea that, look, maybe you were in a meta where tensions were getting high and, God, you kept on bringing that goddamn list. You keep on doing this goddamn thing. It's pissing me off. Well, now everything's calm. Everybody will be cool. And when things start up and whatever time that is, I think we're going to be all in a very happy place and that this break will be good for everybody. So I want you to really think about it that way. So anyway, there you have it. If you have any more any other hints, if you want to tell me what your plans are, I always love hearing that stuff down below. Or like I said, any of those hints, post them down there below. And like I said, I'm planning to I'm going to try and up this to like 3 videos per week. But man, I'll even see if I can even do more than that because, hey, this is the time. Normally I want to say that I won't have time to do videos because I'm busy with my family. Well, I'm dealing with my family all day, and then these little times in the evenings and mornings are the times when I can escape and do stuff like this. So anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching, and stay safe. Bye.